So, hi everyone. Hope you are doing a hope you're doing well. Hope it's a great evening for all of you. And this is something that's very interesting right now. We have, in my opinion, a very smart guest today. Not just from the financial point of view, but also from a technology point of view. That we have something where we get to marry all of these things together. So what we're gonna do, similar to what we had over the past few uh, days, also is that if you guys have any questions based on what we're talking about, put it down below, and then we're gonna answer it to the best of our abilities. So as we begin, we have the CEO and one of the co-founders of Finblox, Peter Wang, joining us in the show, and he has a vast experience, not just in Web3, but also in traditional finance as well. So, Peter, before we get into the meat of the topic, maybe give us a quick intro of yourself so that people would also have a gist of your depth of knowledge, skill, and maybe how rich you are. And then they can ask questions from that also.
Sure. So, yeah, I'm Peter Hoang. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Finblox. This is my second large, I would say, venture. So the first one was called GoTrade, the startup that I co-founded back in 2018. GoTrade is commission-free stock trading, fractional U.S. stocks trading in Southeast Asia. That is available in globally, but it has a strong presence in Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam as well. It was part of Y Combinator itself. So after that, after 2 years of spending at GoTrade and traveling across the Southeast Asian region, I realized that most of the people in the region actually trade crypto more than stocks itself. Just giving the example of Indonesia, I think the statistic is very similar in the Philippines. In Indonesia in 2019, over 7 million people traded crypto, and only over 2 million people traded equities at the time. So by a factor of three, self crypto had a much more wider adoption than the traditional assets themselves. So that is kind of the idea behind Finblox itself. We wanted to create a crypto trading app and also a crypto app that would allow people to easily access this alternative asset class with easy on-ramp options itself. And in 2021, we launched that venture with my co-founder Dimitri Ponin, who was previously a chief technology officer at Coins.ph in the
Got
Philippines.
it. I wanna ask this though. Why do you think in Southeast Asia we're seeing more people getting into crypto first than the stock market? And it should have been like the stock market first, because the stock market has been there for hundreds of years already and has a track record. And generally, people are maybe more risk averse also. But why the sudden boost in this region, particularly when lockdowns also started to happen?
Sure. So I think one of the reasons is this speculative nature of that asset. Is I think is a strong factor itself. So Bitcoin, I think that the story of Bitcoin or Ethereum going up 100x over a short period over a period of 2 years attracted a wide range of potential users. The space itself. The second reason is a large proportion of the population here. It's unbanked and also has lack of access to alternative asset classes. That was also one of the reasons I co-founded GoTrade at the time, to provide access to US stocks at commission free itself. And because of that lack of access, that lack of easy access, crypto was the only asset class that would enable users in the region to kind of have equal to get started on the equal footing as somebody in the UK or Nigeria or anywhere in the world, so that the Filipinos and Indonesians, Vietnamese could invest in the equal footing as the investors sitting anywhere else in the world.
Got it. So it's really the access, the ability for people to be able to open, which I think is a game changer also, because not a lot of people can actually do it, or not a lot of people, but they feel intimidated also when they enter something, especially when they go to larger financial institutions that they need to open an account. I remember when I started investing, I literally had to go to an office to be able to open an account, and I had to connect it to my bank also. Then there was so much paperwork attached. So I think that's a good point, no, that uh, it's the piece of technology that allows people to get into it further. I wanna start off with this, and to everyone who's watching, we're in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now. My question is this, to you especially. You're from Singapore, and in Singapore, financial education is like big in the forefront. I would talk to taxi drivers there, the uncles there. They have real estate investments. They're very much they're in the know when it comes to investing. Some are more traditional, some are more
Right.
technologically advanced, but they know the value of investing for the future. Um, why is that, and what is financial freedom to you, and what do you want to impart to other people in Southeast Asia that's watching this, on the value of working to achieve financial freedom?
Sure. So, for me personally, financial freedom is having the means and the ability to make choices and live your life on your own terms without being constrained by the financial limitations. So I think that's the general definition, and it's also the freedom to pursue your goals, passions, and dreams without constant worry about money. So I think that's kind of the ideal that many people are moving towards as well. And that push, whether it's in Singapore, Vietnam, Indonesia, or Philippines, is a common goal that many people share
Got
as well with the ambition.
and
So
and and I totally resonate with what you said about the ability to do things when what you want when you want. Versus people always think that financial freedom is having this car, this house, doing this, doing that. But at the end of the day, we all have different inclinations. Some would want to travel, some just want to stay at the farm and just plant and just watch the scenery on a regular basis. But I guess from what you said, what's very important there, what people need to realize is that you can't work for the rest of your life. That's why it's so important that you have something, you have a set of assets that will allow you to be able to work hard for you. Um, for you personally, uh, what were the steps that you took also, or what are you currently taking also, that would set you on that course? Especially, if we're watching this, there will be a replay also of this. There might be Gen Zers and millennials who are watching this, and they always see it either two ways. It's either I invest and it goes to the moon, or I just live my life now, enjoy and spend everything, and it doesn't matter what happens in the next 5, 10, or even 20
yeah,
years. Why is it? Because the talk of preparing for financial freedom, it's actually boring. People want to invest, people want to make money, but the process, the grind in the middle, that's what not a lot of people want to talk about. For
yeah.
you, what
I
is it?
that's the hard part. Yeah, that's the hard part itself. So I think it's important that during the prime years to be able to enjoy your life. I think at some later stage to whether that's to retire early or whatever the goal is at a certain age, it's very important to prioritize early financial planning and take proactive steps towards achieving that goal. So that requires careful planning and setting the clear financial goals and diversification and education. So setting financial goals, budgeting and saving, establishing a budget, tracking expenses and saving consistently, as well as investing wisely as well across different asset classes with diversification, knowing your risk profile as well and the expected return as well. I
And
think
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you.
yeah, and I think what's the most important thing is to continuously learn and
Mm,
stay informed about the personal finance investments and the financial
mm.
strategies as well early in your kind of early in your journey in your work life.
Got it. I want to ask you, so you mentioned something about saving and budgeting, and people sort of skip that. They just want to earn more. But I always tell people that it's not about earning more, because when you earn more and then you don't know how to save and how to budget, I've seen actually people who lost more money when they started to earn more as compared to when they were just starting out and not earn and not earning more. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's also another extreme to that where people are actually saying that you keep on saving, or don't go to Starbucks because
Right.
you're not gonna get rich if you're gonna go to Starbucks. How do you strike a balance with that also, that you are saving and then you're budgeting and then you also have goals, but you're also enjoying your life. Now I have a true story before I let you answer the question. I had a friend. Oh no, I have a friend, but this happened in the past that he was saving because he wanted to hit so much financial goals. But he was literally walking to the office. He was skimping on food. Then he got sick. Then he spent more money when he actually got sick also. Something like that. How do you strike a balance, Peter? And by the looks of it, you look like a very financially free person.
Not really, but yeah, I always work with it, whether I'm financially free or not. So I think striking that balance is important. It depends at your stage in life, how much you have saved,
Yeah,
as well, and how much you can allocate towards investments, different buckets that you have, the buckets for more risky investments, the amount of kind of runway that you have personally yourself, and the exact track of expenses over the next 1 year or two, and also your financial commitments as well. So it's more difficult to save, and sometimes like early in your life to save and keep track of your
yeah,
expenses, especially when you have family and kids
yeah.
as well. It's important to start early to be able to educate yourself in advance when you are still in your prime years.
Totally agree with that. Saving is boring, but I say this all the time. It's the boring things in life that will actually make you rich. It's the process, it's the hard work, it's the experience that you do in between. People always see the success. People always see, oh, Elon Musk did this, Warren Buffett did this, but they didn't see the hard work and the grind that was in between. I want to ask this since we're gonna zero in on investing. How does investments and investing also play along for you to be able to at least hit whatever financial goals you have, or if it's financial freedom that people seek? How does investing play into it?
Sure. So it's very important. Plays a vital role in achieving financial freedom in itself. By investing wisely, people can grow their wealth and create kind of passive income streams over time. There is a way to do that, and it allows them to leverage the power of kind of compounding and making their money work for them over time. Itself with the right amount of patience and the runway. So
Got
building out your asset base, diversifying your income sources, and generating returns, then that can accelerate that path towards the financial freedom that many people strive for.
Got it. I like what you said on discipline, patience, when you're actually doing it, because a lot of people think that investing is like the lottery and people want to get rich over the next 8 minutes, when they have to realize that sometimes it's really a process for them to actually achieve it and to actually do it as well. That being said, at the start, no, you gave an introduction to yourself talking about Finblox also as a platform, and you made some parallelisms also about you gave access to people for the stock market. And but guys, I'll just reiterate this. Some of you I know are also using GoTrade. He's one of the geniuses behind it who started it. That's what that has given access to Filipinos to invest in the stock market, and he's translating it also now into Web3. I want to ask this: how does Finblocks uh, play play a big part in terms of investing and access to investing to people around the world and to people who are actually watching this? What's a step that they can take, and how can Finblocks also help them in terms of investing?
Sure. So Finblox is essentially a crypto ecosystem and one-stop investments application that provides users with various avenues to earn rewards, and that serves as kind of a hook to get people interested as well. But we also have trading features, staking, different. Recently, we introduced AI as well, just utilizing OpenAI API, the existing infrastructure to allow people to educate themselves more easily just by
Mm.
chatting with the application, what is blockchain, and answering very basic questions
Oh, that's
as well.
nice.
So we don't want this to be a kind of financial advisor itself. It's not a robot advisor itself, but it's in very much in line with the the vision of the financial inclusion that we have set out as well. So personally, I believe that Web3 and crypto, despite its volatility, it presents one of the highest potential assets to enable a financial freedom for people globally to build their wealth as well, because due to its decentralized nature and global and therefore global nature itself. So with Finblox, we make it easy for users to kind of onboard into the space itself, because the process of creating your the wallets on decentralized wallets like MetaMask is very complicated for the average user. So we make it easy, but just by signing up with email, with obviously with applied compliance measures, know your user and different identity verification levels as well, and they are able to top up with just their wallets with integrations. For example, in the Philippines, we are working with a licensed provider like Gcash to be able to onboard users easily with just e-wallets, and we do the same for other emerging markets by partnering with the local licensed payment service providers to be able to bring more people on board just to try first and see how it works.
Got it. I'm curious about this. You mentioned a lot of things that Finblox has in its platform. Um, I want to segment this question to different people. For people who are hearing this for the first time and they're new to this type of concept, what's the best maybe entry level feature that Finblox has that they could actually use? And then maybe for people who are more tenured in the space already, also, what is something that they could actually also use, and then it's something that stands out as compared to the so many other platforms that are out there also that's
Yes.
Web3 related as well. By the way, before
Yes.
that, Geraldine Ilagan says Finblocks for the win. She's from YouTube. She's saying Finblocks for the win. So Peter for the win. Anyways, go
Awesome.
ahead. Go.
Cool. So, especially for the emerging markets, we offer easy on ramp by partnering with the local payment service providers to easily onboard, and we are paying out passive rewards on different assets. Especially in the Southeast Asia, a play to earn was very hot in the past years, not in the past couple of months because of the volatility itself, but Exit Infinity, Smooth Love Potion in 2021, 2022 were popular. Recently, we introduced a Pepe coin mem coin as well for fun for just people. There are people who just putting in a few dollars just to see how it works, and we are offering 20% in rewards just by staking with us as well. So that's for the beginners.
So
For the advanced,
is that correct to say that for those who are starting, it's a mechanism where they could swap their tokens and then they could also stake and get passive rewards as well. Just one quick question about the passive rewards. People may ask also, is it really passive? Meaning, is there something that I actually need to do also, and then will this be for a long period of time, or is it something that I need to monitor also on a regular basis?
yeah, so we update the rates on a regular basis, but we try not to change the rates um, more frequently than every 2 months itself. So the payouts are daily, just like when people have their money in the bank, we do the payouts daily as itself. And there are many gamified features, then games that we have inside as well. One of them we have recently launched is called Cosmic Odyssey. It's where you are exploring different planets and you earn different coins by
Okay,
unlocking planets
so
itself. So
it's
we
like,
just
is
yeah,
that like a gaming function or an educational function for it, and then they earn?
it's a combination, edutainment.
Okay.
To make it fun, it's free, doesn't cost anything, and once people, more people engage with it, the more they can. It's kind of a twist on the play to earn model where
Mm.
they people actually get educated, they get onboarded, and at the same time they earn rewards as
So,
well. So
so,
that's interesting feature for the beginners, not
so
necessarily for the experienced
so it's
traders.
not just basically like an investing; it's a side hustle also for those who are watching this, and then you want to trade your time also, and then learn also at the same time, be entertained at the same time. it becomes an extra source of revenue also for people, instead of just watching Netflix
Yeah,
where you're actually spending. It's a good way for them to be able to get something also in return, and then they learn and then they get entertained also, something that was not
exactly.
available when you were younger.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit like watching Netflix and earning Netflix coin on the
Mm,
way.
that would be nice. That would be
Really fun. And now with our token that we are launching, probably we are going to do it. We are going to do the payouts in our token as
oh
well,
nice,
just to
nice,
make it
nice.
simple, and with or some other popular coins, just whichever
So,
users ask for. So yeah, so that's for the beginners. For the
so
advanced traders, we are building out new features
okay.
as well. One of the requested ones was uh, applying the existing AI tools. So for the beginners, the AI tools are helping them to educate themselves.
Hmm.
But for the more advanced ones, it could be the analysis of their kind of the entire portfolio and the risk
Hmm.
profile that they input and the preference on the certain assets. And we might be able in the future. We might be able to. The product is called FinGPT, inspired by
Oh,
ChatGPT.
FitGPT. Okay.
So we
Fit.
call it FinGPT. So that tool would allow people to, based on their choice, automatically rebalance based on their preferences. If they like meme coins, they have
Ah,
certain allocation in meme coins only. If they succeed that, then it will automatically rebalance based on their
okay.
preferences as
Oh,
well. So
so
this is kind of like a AI enabled robo advisory
okay.
in crypto. So that's for more advanced folks who don't want to monitor stuff every single day.
Okay, okay. So to segment everything you said, it can be a side hustle for people who want to be entertained and who want to learn, and they get to earn tokens. What's nice about that is because people always ask me this, how can I earn if I don't have a lot of money? That's one thing you could do. What you're trading your time for you to be able to actually earn, and Finblox has that. Then second is the staking mechanism where it's passive. This one you need also to have capital. Is there what's the minimum amount for people to be able to stake also? Do you have anything you want to share of that?
There is no minimum. It can be as low as $1 equivalent
Got it. Got
as
it.
well.
So guys, the reason why I asked that is that people are so skeptical when it comes to trying new things. But for $1, it's less than a milk tea. It's less than a Starbucks coffee, and then you get to try something new, and then you get educated in a way that you experience something more than what you could ever learn in high school or college. And then the last one is you have AI. That will actually trade for you, and I'm such a believer in AI, especially for trading, because it removes the emotion out of it. I think one of the reasons why there are people who lose money also in trading is it's the emotions, and then AI will remove that out, and then you have something that's emotionless that will really I guess do things and earn also for you as well.
Right, and also for the beginners, for people who are so for many people in the emerging markets, crypto is the first door into the world of investing. So we know a lot of people who we have a lot of people who never invested in stocks, never invested in anything, but they had some they've dabbled in crypto before. So I believe that it's to learn about investing, you need to have some sort of exposure to that asset
Got it.
itself. Even if it is $1 or $2, it makes you care more if you have actually certain stake, however small it is.
Before
Uh,
before I proceed to my next question, I just want to ask this question from Kimbert Franco from YouTube, and I know you touched a bit about it, but maybe you can speak more into it. He's
sure.
asking those who are starting, what are the other things that FinBlocks can help? So you mentioned about your edutainment system, and and you have a function also that's AI that people can learn from also, and then you also have staking. But what do you envision something that they can actually do also inside the entire ecosystem, especially if they're beginners?
Sure, I think a good place to start would be Finblox University. So it was a range of articles that we created early in 2022, last year when we just launched as well. It's quite a bunch of them as well. So what is blockchain? All the basics are covered in the Finblox University to understand and the value of investing itself. So we spent quite a bit of time creating that content itself, and we are looking to kind of take it to the next level with the AI that you've mentioned. So education, it's something that will bring financial inclusion, and financial inclusion it's something that brings on the financial empowerment itself. So it all starts with that little seed of knowledge in education, and knowing the basics to get people started.
Got it. So you mentioned a couple of features and products that Finblox has, but one thing that I think is so fascinating, especially in the world of crypto, is launchpads. And Finblox also has a launchpad. And this was something when I first saw earlier iterations of this, it actually blew my mind that, whoa, this is actually something that's possible also, because coming from the stock market, you wouldn't, it wasn't something that was also conceivable. So it's a two-pronged question for those who are watching this and they don't know what launch pads are. Can you give them like a basic overview of what it is, and then can you speak also on the Finblocks launch pad as well?
Sure. I think it can be summarized in a question, a statement in a question. Bitcoin is cool, but you know what's cooler? Finding the next Bitcoin, right? So that's the value prop of the launchpad itself. So we created kind of the platform for the entrepreneurs and blockchain startups to launch their coins in the market, or do the fundraising as well on their coins in the easy fashion itself. So far, most of the launching platforms with the new coins were done on desktop
Mm.
itself. So people needed to have their own wallet itself. So it was mainly targeted towards more sophisticated investors who were already onboarded into the crypto Web3 ecosystem itself. We are actually the first ones who are introducing it into the mobile devices itself, and that's
Oh.
important for the emerging markets, like Philippines, like Vietnam, where 70% of the population that doesn't have a bank account, but they have but 70% of the population has a mobile device
Mm.
itself. So they are able to download the apps, and they are able to kind of participate in that ecosystem itself. So which is why at Finblox we have launched iOS and Android applications first before we launch desktop version. So FinLaunch, which is the name of the launchpad that we have launched already with our own token as the first project going live, is the platform that allows people to kind of find those next projects that can potentially be big, with obviously with some risk disclosures. We do a lot of due diligence, approaching it like the investors, just researching about the startup, the value proposition, how big is the community, how big is the potential, who is their backer, just approaching it from the potential investor point of view before onboarding them into Finblox
Mm.
itself, so that our users are not burned by the bad projects that might possibly launch itself. So I would say it's higher risk, but also I would say much higher potential return, kind of experience that we want to bring to our users. It's
Got it.
much more
And
risk it's much more risky, but users are able to access possibly venture capital like possible returns with the projects that we're looking to launch.
got it. So it's basically the ability for people to enter projects or tokens that are early, also that are in its early stages, as compared to say the stock market that they're already say very mature before they enter in and do an IPO as well. But again, I like what you said. Also, there are risks attached to it, and I think it's very important also to underline that to people, that anytime you go about any asset class that's beyond bonds already, there are attached risks to it, and the ones that are more alluring, that's I think the one that you have to spend more time also to study, because there are absolute risks attached to it. But in that being said, also do not let also the risk also prevent you from learning and trying it, because there are a lot of pros also to doing something that's not fixed, and
Yes.
gives you something that's more volatile as well. I want to ask this. You mentioned that the first token that will be launched in the FinLaunch platform, or your launchpad, is
Yes.
the FBX token. And I'm getting some questions here, like from Kimbert, also is asking about the tokenomics on it. He's asking if it's Ethereum based. Maybe can you speak on what's the merit of the FBX token, especially people get, especially for those who are new to crypto, they get confused. Why is there 20 plus thousand tokens already? And
Yes.
what makes the new ones unique also?
Sure. So I think the beauty of Web3 in general, it's users are able to onboard into the projects and having, if they are a big supporters of those projects, they can hold the tokens of those projects. And if those projects do well, they can also enjoy the potential upside of it. I think a good example will be Coinbase versus uh, other Web3 companies like Binance. For example, Coinbase so when Coinbase did the initial public offering in 2021, it was mainly institutional investors that got to enjoy the advantage, the benefit of it going public versus the retail users that used Coinbase for years as well, as opposed to, for example, Binance itself, where early users could enjoy the potential upside for holding the tokens and kind of riding that wave and growth together with the platform. So that was kind of the idea also for us, a comparable idea. So the utility of the token itself would be uh, uh, allowing users to have discounted fees on the platform, magnified rewards, as well as potentially in the future some a kind of burning mechanism that we would apply itself that will drive the value also to the token itself and the users as well.
Um,
So people can think of it as a utility token that would drive the value accrual as the platform grows over time.
I have a question on this. I'll just rephrase the question of Kimbert. Uh, People, because of Bitcoin, people have characterized crypto as something that you buy, hold, stack altogether. But I guess what I wanted to ask is, uh, will the FBX token more be the its merit is because people can actually use it more than just buying it and holding it, but more they want to get it because there will be a lot of things that they can use within the ecosystem as well.
Yeah, so our vision is to allow people to use it as well. So use it as a payment token within the ecosystem itself. For example, for the launchpad itself, to access the projects, they will need to stake certain amount of tokens to be able to have early access to those projects as well, and to enjoy lower trading fees as well by staking certain amounts. We have different levels, galactic, supernova, and some cool names that we have come up with for the different levels of holders, depending on
Um,
the dollar amount that they have itself. So we see this as a token that people will be able to use in the future and not only hold as
got
well.
it. There's a good question here from Cornelius V, and I think it has merit also to ask. He's asking, how will you convince non-crypto users to use Finblox?
How do I convince non-crypto users to use Finblox? So we've introduced some games in the application itself to encourage people just to give it a try and to give them a small amount of tokens for free, just to give them just to give them the first dips into it
Mhm.
and exploring the platform itself. So if users are not into crypto, they'll still be able to enjoy some of the those rewards without making any purchase to start with.
Got it. And I think it's that eh. It's the apps that are built on top of it that people get to use as an end user, that will allow them to be onboarded into it because they're not conscious about what token is it, what blockchain is it on, but they just really like to use it, and then they're actually part of the ecosystem. And I keep telling people that, especially when gaming became a thing, when Game 5 became a thing, the difference between Web 2 games was that people went into it because they enjoyed it, and then they suddenly started buying merchandise inside the platform
Yes,
unknowingly because they were part of it. I want to ask this one before we end the portion about
sure.
FBX, and also the launch portion. This one's coming from YouTube, also from I Play to Chill. It's in Tagalog. I'll just translate it for you. He's asking where can they buy, sell, swap the FBX token as well.
Sure. So by the end of this week, it will be swappable within the Finblox application itself, and we are announcing a few exchanges tomorrow as
Got
well.
it.
So just stay tuned and on our socials, and we'll be announcing them officially probably in the next 12 hours or so.
So you can see it, guys. Here's down below, it's streaming. That's their website, finbox.com. You can do the trades in app already, or inside the website, and then plus whatever centralized exchanges that they will be on. Now, back to our topic on financial freedom. I wanna ask this. Number one, people are scared to invest because of the risk attached to it, and then I wanna add to it also that you have exposure in the stock market, and then you have also exposure in crypto. As someone who has been in both sides of the spectrum, how would you compare the risks between those two asset classes as well? And then maybe if you categorize it, who's fit for stocks, who is fit for crypto, and who can do both also.
Yeah, crypto is definitely more risky than stocks. So just touching on the area of risk, it's understandable that most people would have concerns about investing in general due to associated risks of putting your money in certain asset that is volatile, that is fluctuating, and both stocks, cryptocurrencies carry some inherent risks in them, but they differ in terms of the volatility, market dynamics, and also regulations, which is also important. And stocks are considered to be more established and regulated with clear historical data and market analysis that is available over the period of 100 years for US stock market, for example. And cryptocurrencies, on the other hand, are much more newer. We can just track the data all the way to 2009 with Bitcoin, and yeah, more volatile, and uh, they can present much higher potential risk and also higher potential returns as well. So it's very important to understand your own risk profile, your own situation, and conduct thorough research and understand how to make the informed kind of investments decisions based on their own risk tolerance and also their own financial goals.
I want to say this also, and I think we did a Twitter space a couple of months ago, and I tell people this, and I'll piggyback on what you said. Number one is they can play, they can be entertained, and they can learn, and they can get the FBX token also as part of it. They get rewarded off of it. They can actually use that already, and then start practicing staking. They can start actually practice swapping, and when they do that, it it costs them nothing but just their time also. So there's a lot of ways for people also to minimize the risk. People always think about what amount of money do I need to put in, but what they don't realize is they can trade their time, they can get tokens from it, and then from that token, that's what they can use. Then it becomes risk free also because they didn't really put in money. And second, I want to add this. There's so much talk when crypto is out there that, oh, it's
Right.
collapsing, it's going down. However, you mentioned it that they can start with $1. There's no minimum amount. So for those who are Filipinos, 50 pesos, 55 pesos, 100 pesos, it costs more to eat in McDonald's than try something. And if it you find out that it doesn't work for you, that 100 pesos will save you a lot of heartache also in the future because you've already found out. But if it works for you, then it will encourage you. Hey, I think I need to study this more because I understand it. That's why I encourage people not just to just watch YouTube videos or read, but actually try it also themselves. So I hope it added a bits and pieces to that also. I have I have one last question, but I see some more. Do you want to answer specific questions about Finblox also? There's
Uh,
what there's a question here that about do you have an in-game wallet or a sidechain to minimize the gas fees, and then connection to that same person, which is the priority of your team, token and NFT prices, or investors and backers, and then or the users and the community as well.
sure. So in Finblox, we actually support three chains. Specifically for our token, initially it's going to be on Ethereum only for kind of various security reasons. But in the application itself, the stable coins that and other assets that we support usually have the option of the users have the option of depositing and withdrawing from the three chains, which is Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, ERC20, and Polygon as well. We used to have Solana before it started crashing a lot, so we regularly update the chains that we support for a kind of a smooth user experience.
Got it.
Uh,
That's so interesting because from a stablecoin perspective, you captured already a very very large chunk. I think of the transactions. A lot of people use Polygon, Ethereum, and also the Binance Smart Chain. Maybe just to end this entire seg just in this entire interview. I hope you had fun. I hope that this was something that was enjoyable for you, and I hope that for people who are watching this also that this is something that was educational also for you. Um, Two things. One is what do you want to impart to people that are watching this? We're recording this May 2023, and what's nice about the internet is it will stay forever in the internet. What do you want to give them, impart to them also that they can when they come back from this maybe 5, 10 years from now. Oh, I heard that from Peter. What he said there was actually right, and it actually changed my life as well. Then second, where can they learn more about? I know I put have the website down below, but where can they reach Finblocks or representatives also from Finblocks as well?
Sure. So a message from me would be brave itself, and I don't want to say it as financial advice, but be brave with your with your investments and start early. Understand your risks and don't do not use leverage if you are starting
Mm,
out. That's my advice because most of the retail users get burned actually with the leverage itself and just going through the experiences of all of our users and friends that we have kind of researched and interviewed. Leverage was number one reason why the beginner users exited the investment space altogether itself. So don't use leverage and be brave and invest only in the assets that you have strong belief in and hold. So if you are a trader, active trader, then there's another advice. But for just for the beginners, it's those two. Be brave with your investments and don't use leverage.
got it. Where's the best place to be able to reach Finblocks? Should they go to the Twitter account, or should they go straight to the website, download the app? What do you suggest to all of them?
Sure. So the best place would be finblocks.com, or our website, and users would. So we have the desktop version of the app, iOS and Android as well. For community updates, it's best to find us on Twitter and on Discord channel.
Got it, got it. So I'll maybe after this recording, I'll put everything down below for YouTube and for Facebook, and then you can just check it out also on the replay. So thank you so much, Peter, for joining us. I know you're in Vietnam, and I know that you went out quickly after dinner just so we could accommodate also this interview. But I also learned a lot. It was something that was very very insightful, and congratulations on what you're doing. I do believe that the entire merit of Web3 is to give access to finance to a lot of people that traditionally don't have the ability to get it or have it, and they've been marginalized as well. And what you're doing is something that's I think very interesting because it brings finance also to a lot of people who got left behind. And to everyone watching this, I do hope that this was insightful, but I also suggest that do your research, and not just because Peter's here, you just ape in, but you go to the website, research, study, and then you build the conviction. If there's one thing that's so important about anything else, anything in life from finance, business, and investing, is that when you come into something, you know what you're getting into, and then you have you wholeheartedly, regardless if it goes well or not well, you accept whatever will happen because you did did your time also to do it. So that's it for now. I hope that you guys got a lot from this, and I hope that it was something that's insightful. Peter Wang from Finblox, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much, everyone, and good night, and God bless you all.
Thanks for having me, Marvin.